Good evening. We're going to get ready to get started. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education and Public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. Questions may be submitted beforehand to liz.goodwin@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment sessions as indicated in the agenda. Board members may be contacted through the emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may be sent to liz.goodwin@bhas.org. I call this meeting to order at 5:34. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Triplett, may we have the roll call, please?
President Robinson, Vice President Bradley,
Present.
Secretary Triplett, President, Treasurer Creighton,
Present.
Trustee Bowen,
Present.
Trustee Buchanan,
Present.
Trustee Rocket,
Present.
a quorum established.
All right, now we're down to item C, approval of tonight's agenda. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns? If not, we're going to call for a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
That motion was made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Secretary Triplett, can you call the roll?
Vice President Bradley,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Creighton,
Yes.
Trustee Bowen,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yeah.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, I see that we do not have any members of the public here, so we're going to skip through public comment. Board business, does anyone have board business or any? All right, Dr. Townsend, go ahead with the policy readings, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I'll read the staff report. Reason for board consideration for the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education to review the updated Neola policy adoption as listed below. Facts and analysis. Twice a year, Neola sends out new and/or revised policies to school districts. The central administration reviews them and notates their suggestions. These are then given to the board for review and approval. Volume 36, number 1, covers our bylaws, professional staff, finance, property, and operation. Policy reference 0131.1, bylaws and policies. The recommended action is that the Benton Harbor Area School Board of Education vote to approve the Benton Harbor Schools revised Neola policy as presented. So these are the only policies that we're asking for approval. The other ones are just a first reading that will not be asked for approval until a later school board meeting.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Can I get a motion to approve staff report number S1?
So moved.
Can I get a support?
Support.
Supported by motion made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Buchanan. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
So we look at these reports. These are revisions made by the Neola group.
That is correct.
Only the Neola.
Yeah, and if you see there, the new things that they would like are highlighted in green per our review. So, and what they wanted to change.
So how are we doing? Vice President Bradley, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Treasurer Creighton.
So how are we doing this? Are we actually gonna go through and discuss them, or are we just going to go through and vote on them?
If we needed to have discussion on certain ones, we could, because I did have a question on one of them myself. But we can go ahead and make approval of them. Does anybody need to discuss them or have comments or questions on any one of them while we have them on the floor?
Definitely.
Okay, go ahead, Treasurer Creighton.
I'm sorry, I'm not ready. I was trying to find it.
Okay. The only question I would have had would be for if anybody doesn't else, while Treasurer Creighton is looking it up. The only one I had a question about was the policy 7450, Dr. Townsend.
Okay.
If you can give me clarification on that, would that inventory be taken on everything in the district, or would that be for just the grant things, and what type of system or who would be over that inventory?
So it's all of our district assets that we are responsible for. That's everything covered in properties. So it says capital expenditures with a unit cost of 5,000 or more require prior written approval of the federal awarding agency or pass-through entity. So for example, when we receive our RAG grant, Regional Assistance Grant from Bay and Reese, we get an award letter from the RESA, and then we bring that to the board for approval.
Okay. Okay, appreciate that.
So
And Matt, generally, when we do policy first readings, and that is the time between that board meeting and the next, if there's any questions, any concerns, comments, those will be shot in the email, say, hey, what about this, what about that? We can send those explanations back. So at the table, the goal is to have the discussion outside of the meeting. So at the table, we can either approve or not approve and keep them as is. So just FYI, for when we do the next first reading, from today through the next regularly scheduled meeting or special meeting, whatever we decide, if there's any questions that we may not answer, we can send those to Neola and get a lawyer's opinion on how to interpret the policy.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions, comments, or concerns?
I just want to be sure that these are things that, so who, the Neola group go through the policy that we have,
Correct.
with who?
With Neola, you probably can explain it better than I can too.
So
Yeah,
Benson Harbor area schools pay Neola to provide our district with policies. So all the policies we have in the books are policies that the board adopted because we pay Neola for those policies.
And so they just go through and look at our policies, revise it, they don't talk to anybody, right?
Yeah, so what they would discuss probably with me and say, hey, these are revised policies. Any questions or concerns, I bring those to the board for a first reading. If there's no questions or concern, then we take the revisions as is.
Okay.
At the, sorry, Vice President Bradley.
Treasurer Creighton,
I'm trying to,
microphone.
oh, I apologize. I'm trying to find the one, that there was some discussion on before. I don't see it.
Do you remember what it was?
Do you know what it was about?
Yeah, it was about, no, I'm drawing a blank. Actually, I don't, I'm sorry. I thought it was student discipline.
Cause I read through they're not in this.
No,
Cause I read through, it was like 3142 or something like that.
Oh, I do remember that one, with the student discipline. I think it was the last one that we had voted on.
so to be clear, which ones are we, is a second reading, right?
Yes,
And these are the ones, all of these in here.
right, except for the, I think the second reads are in here as well.
Yeah, the second reading is what I read in the staff report, which is
Okay.
policy 0100, 0167.3, policy 3120, policy 6152, 7450, 8320, 6680, and 8310.
Are they in here? Cause I don't see them.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
It was like the one that dealt with student discipline.
With student discipline,
It was like 3142, something like that. Cause I remember.
because I know we had a lengthy discussion on it during one of our meetings.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought we were having a special meeting so that we could go through them. I didn't know it was just a vote, so. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to, I don't even see the 100. Do you see the 100? Does anyone see 100?
It's right at the front, but they.
No, that's 000. Oh, okay. 0100, I see it now.
They're listed in the order that they, something else double sided, so it might be 0100, right? And then it goes to 0167. They might be
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
double sided.
One thing that I did want to mention, Vice President Bradley. Vice President Bradley.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. During the public participation, I don't have a problem with this, but I think this will be different. And, it says during the portion of the meeting designated for public participation, no participant may speak more than once on the same topic. So that'll be a change that I think we need to be aware of.
Right, right. And is that the one highlighted in green? Okay, yeah. I see
So
that
now
right there.
they'll have the opportunity to speak more than once during the meeting.
Yeah, but on different topics.
What number is
That's policy
That's the second
167.3.
So the one right after that one.
So when I look, Brother Vice President,
Go ahead, Secretary Triplett.
so when I look at these, I'm just trying to do sequential, these are policies, second of two readings.
Right.
For clarification purposes, when I look at them, and I go over here, and I go to 0167.3, public participation. And the next one I see is 3120, so that's over here on the side. Okay, I'm just trying to follow through with what's on the agenda item. So with the second reading, once we do the second reading, then we vote on them.
Yes.
The second
Yes.
reading. So when, with the second reading, is there any way we can go through them? Because I thought that we were going through them. The purpose of this was for us to go through them and to look at them, because this is something that is very, 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 very serious. Because we can't just come in and have not studied them and put a rubber stamp on them. Because once this comes into place, this is what the way we need to operate. So if we look at each one of these policies, some of them are very brief. You know what I mean? Some of them are very brief, but we need to look at it and make sure that we know exactly what is being said before we vote.
Right, I do understand that. And I do, what Dr. Townsend was saying was that, this is our time to vote on them, because I know we had them. I know this was a quick meeting, and that we had a chance to review them. So I don't know who all reviewed them or not. You read them?
Yep.
Okay, I did too, so. But I do understand that sentiment. So I do know that we have to get our policies updated too. The ones that you all have an issue with or need to take a look at, I would say just see if which ones we can do, and then we just vote on it to hold those back and take a look at it and try to get those approved at a later time.
Well, as a public reason, it's not just for us. We saying these are things that we're looking at policy, from just like she brought up about the public participation. We're in a public meeting, it might not be here, but this is a recorded meeting. So these people know now as we go forward that this is what they have, to work with. That's just a thought of mine, but I mean, I'll go with the math.
And I do want to say just, if you want, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Townsend.
I've had an opportunity to sit on these policies for a while. I did read through them. I think they're good recommendations based on Neola. Neola is a group of attorneys that suggest policies to boards. I think if there is a concern, what I would do as a superintendent is take it back to Neola and say, hey, they have a concern about this language or that language, but it is it's state law compliant, meaning our policies are directly in line with state law. So I do, as a superintendent, feel safe and trust the policies, especially I've read through all of them. And we kind of been sitting on them for a couple of years. And I do want to make sure that, whatever happens July 1, that the district is caught up as much as possible on the policy.
Okay. And also, real quick, Ms. Goodwin, can you notate that Trustee Bowens left at 5:47? Yeah, I just saw his car leave out. You're welcome. Yes, we do. Yeah, I just saw his car leave out. Yeah, all right, so do we want to go ahead and call a vote for these policies? Everyone comfortable with that?
I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm trying to find the one specifically that right, so the second readings are not in here. Is that what we're saying? I mean, the first reading.
The first reading, there, everything is listed in here as well.
Policies broken down in every policy.
Was it a concern you had on the first reading? Because these are the exact same agenda items that were on the previous board agenda, so it could possibly be, maybe if you look in the first reading again, maybe there where you had a concern.
Oh, those aren't in here. Is that what you're
They're
saying?
there, but it's not to be voted on tonight. It's just identified as a first reading, meaning you can ponder and ask questions, and then by the next meeting, we can have those questions answered for you.
Whoever have these red things in front of, on the agenda, it's blocking my policy. I can't, it's blocking the agenda. It's covering numbers and everything.
Robinson wanted to do the second reading first, and then after that, there is a section of them that is for the second.
It's like they left their
first
mouth
reading.
there, left their thing there.
So what number are you looking for?
I don't remember.
You looking for student discipline?
All right.
Was it?
Oh, you,
was it
okay, you
this
found that
time
one.
around?
I thought it was, because we talked about it in the meeting, and that's why we tabled it to a special meeting.
I can't see the number, this is blocking the number, I'm just trying to look at the number.
I don't remember. that.
It's 5140.
They need to move their mouth or whatever.
So if you look at the staff report, I think it's 3,000 students. So it would be a 3,000.
So, Vice President Bradley. So, I don't actually have any other questions with the policies that are before us.
Okay,
I'm not sure where my confusion or the disconnect is, but initially when I tabled it for a special meeting,
Yeah, I do.
these were not the policies.
right. So I know we have so many of them.
Yeah, so
So,
that's why I'm like,
so we may have to go back in the agenda and look at those.
Okay.
So is everyone okay with these? So, okay,
Yeah.
so Secretary Triplett, can you go ahead and call the roll for that, please?
Vice President Bradley,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Creighton,
yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, Dr. Townsend,
Yes,
we
sir.
go ahead with the,
So this is the only item that needs action today, just for clarification. Policy reading first of two identifies 1616, 3216, 5511, 6114, 4216, 6110, 6325, 6114, and 6325, in addition to 4162. So we have until the next 30 days, or whenever you guys want these brought back for approval, you have plenty of time over the next couple of weeks to ask any questions, so I can get it back to the attorneys, or Neola, or otherwise they come for approval. But I did read them all. I think they are good policies, and Neola's been very good to us. They've been patient with us because we've not updated them in a couple of years, but they've still been on task with keeping us updated with the rest of the state.
okay, I appreciate that. So with that being said, let's make sure that we overview, go ahead, Ms. Goodwin.
I just want to clarify one thing for the board. Under that volume 36, number 2, policy 6114 and 6325, we are advocating for replacing the policies. That's why I gave you that extra piece of paper in there, where instead of the revisions are so old, there was 2 or 3 revisions before they've been done. So I gave you a clean copy from Neola of what the most current policy looks like, and basically it's just accounting methods and government levels to make it more easier to understand. Instead of looking at what's been crossed out, it's just, it gets confusing. So I gave you a clean copy, and it's on a combined sheet. If you look at that replacement for policy 6114 and 6325, all that's doing is taking all 3 of the updates, all 3 of the revisions, and putting them in so you can read them better. That's all it is. It's replacing old language with new language, old federal limits with new federal limits, old accounting practices with new accounting practices. Because I know it can look very confusing with all the green and red.
Okay, appreciate that clarification. All right, so we'll have to do our due diligence beforehand to make sure that we are checking up on these policies and getting our questions in a timely manner, I should say. All right, we're moving on. Any open public comments? I don't hear the chairs talking, so I don't think we have any of that. Dr. Townsend, any comments for you?
Yes. First of all, I would like to, as we approach the end of the school year, I want to give a major shout out to our graduating seniors. Their hard work and determination brought them through this milestone of achievement. Special congratulations to the class of 2022. These young people were sophomores or fresh into a sophomore year when the pandemic hit. So they've been resilient. So shout out to them. And very last, I would like to publicly acknowledge two of our board of trustees had an opportunity to receive specific awards from MASB. The first award is for a certificate. It's an award of merit, a certificate of achievement for trustee Ronaldo Triplett, Benton Harbor Area Schools. He earned the level 2 award of merit. It's awarded upon the completion of certification level 1 and a minimum of 45 education credits. So clap it up for Mr. Triplett. And second, I would like to shout out and congratulate Vice President Bradley. He has 2 certificates of achievement.
Oh.
One is level 2 award of merit awarded upon completion of certification level 1 and a minimum of 45 education hours, as well as Mr. Bradley completed the course requirements for the Certified Board Member Award CBA program, and he is a certified board member in the state of Michigan. So congratulations. Vice President.
Thank you.
And that concludes my comments.
I think they made a mistake on that. That was mine.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say one last. 'Cause I-
Thank you.
Last thing, I just want to give my condolences to the family of Marlon Bowman. Very sad to hear what occurred over the weekend. Hearts and prayers go out to the family. This young man graduated class of 2021. I had the privilege of graduating him and presenting him with a number of awards. I believe he received the Coach U Scholarship Award out of Bavarian Education Foundation. Such a sad tragedy. Praying for him and his family. And I do believe there's a visual being here somewhere in the community tonight. So when we leave here, I'm gonna see if I can find that and get out there and show our respects for that young man. Thank you so much.
Wait, would you
Oh.
repeat that? Excuse me.
Oh, go ahead,
Who you said?
Trustee.
Marlon Bowman, he's a graduate in the class of 2021. He was,
B.O.W. Bowman. Who was that?
did I say that correct, Bowman?
Yeah, I know you said it.
He was a,
I'll tell you from there after, you know them very well.
Yeah. that's
From
right.
Highland.
Yeah. All right. Board member comments. We're going to start with Trustee Buchanan.
You know, I really, well, I have not have a lot coming, but we got to continue to strive to work together on this board. And congratulations, Mr. Triplett and Mr. What's your name?
Mr. Bradley.
Okay, they're gonna read Ms. Clark and Ms. Buchanan next time. So we all got to, you know, you have, well, you all find out. Oh, I apologize.
All right.
Sometimes you have to smile a little and just keep your spirit going, but I'm tired about your bones.
All right. We're going to have Trustee Raquel Martin.
Well, it's end of the year. But
And
First
that's
of
it.
all, and-
Vice President Bradley, thank you.
Oh, you're
That's
very
all my
welcome.
comment.
Go ahead.
first of all, and foremost, I'd like to offer my sympathy to the family, of the Bowman family. I know them, and my heart just goes out to the family. It's always, sad and hard when you lose loved ones, and especially when you lose them to gun violence, So we just have to pray for our community, pray for our young people, that, they'll get some sense of pride and some sense of what it feels like to that when you take somebody's life, you're hurting a lot of people.
Exactly.
And, and just have a conscience about doing those kinds of things. I'd also like to give a shout out. I got a chance to participate in a few of the end of the year activities at MLK. And I know other schools are possibly doing those things too. But it's been a pleasure to work with even the kids from the high school and, all the schools this year. So we look forward to seeing them coming back for summer school and even in the fall of next year. And if they'll tell their friends what a good time they had in Benton Harbor area schools, hoping we'll have more students than we had prior this year. But just to all my colleagues on the board also, it's been a pleasure working with you. We've had our moments, but that comes, that's life.
Yeah.
So that's not a big deal. But I appreciate the conversations we've had. I've appreciated the work that we've done and that we are still doing. And I know we can only move forward from this point on and even do better, do greater things for our district.
All right. Treasurer Creighton.
Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. Just want to again echo the sentiments of condolences to the Bowman family. I did not know the young man personally as an adult, but definitely as a child in the community, and his parents, and actually one of his grandparents actually worked with me. So, it's just difficult every weekend, in this community with so many losses. It's very difficult as a parent of a young man who happens to live in this community. I don't know, I'm lost for words. So, but my condolences and prayers. Also, on a lighter note, I'm excited to be a part of the graduation this weekend. Our kids have been through so much and they're still managing to, I guess, cross the finish line, but being inducted into what we call life. And so I think if we can just continue to work together and wrap our hands around the young people in our community, because they really need it, and the parents need it. And so I'm just looking forward to any initiatives this summer to do that. Looking forward to, this is a plug, hopefully, our district is working on some recruitment efforts. I remember, I think in 14, 15, and 16, I remember getting some exercise walking the streets. I have pictures, and when we walked the streets and we went around doing recruitment and passing out applications and highlighting the really great things here at Benton Harbor area schools. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if it's in the works, but I hope it is. And again, just looking forward to the graduation this weekend. And I don't know, it's heavy around here, but we'll be all right.
All right. Thank you, Treasurer Creighton. Secretary Triplett.
I really do
Liz,
not-
put the timer up.
Yeah, I don't. I honestly, I do not have any comments tonight. Everyone has already said what it is relates to our kids, but I do not have any comments. Thank you.
All right. President Robinson, you have anything?
Just want to say my apologies for my tardiness today. I hope you all had a successful meeting. I also want to, I think it's a positive note that I got here and the meeting was nearly over, because that means it was a quick and efficient meeting. So that's the plus of it. I also want to give my condolences to the families that lost their loved ones, because I believe it was 2 gentlemen that actually passed this weekend, although one was here and I believe another potentially in Grand Rapids. I could be mistaken. So just praying for everyone that is going through and feeling the impacts of the loss of life, as well as those families that are impacted by their family members doing the acts of violence, because it does impact everyone that's involved. So just asking for prayer for the community. Appreciate everyone on the board and our administration, and I look forward to seeing you all in our next upcoming meeting. Those are all of my comments. And thank you, Vice President Bradley, for jumping in last minute and cheering for me. This is my first time doing a report that goes to the governor's office, and I had it all twisted and tangled and had to get it right. So I appreciate you for stepping in. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna be brief, succinct. First of all, I want to give my condolences to the family. Like I said, one thing impacts one person on this board and impacts us all. I was talking to my next door neighbor and come to find out that's his nephew. And so, like I said, definitely praying for the family. Everybody should have seen the leaderboard magazines on your at your desk or got them at your house. They got the event calendar in there. Y'all should have got the email about the Summer Institute. Please, please participate. I want to thank the district and definitely MASB for the amazing opportunities to learn. Other thing I want to say is, to our board members, let's stay united. I love y'all all. I have no ill will towards anyone on this board. So I love everybody on this board. We may not see things eye to eye. They have said some things. I apologize for the tone, but I love everybody on this board. I have nothing against nobody. So I want to put that out there. With that being said, can we have a motion for adjournment? Oh,
I vote
Secretary
that we
Triplett.
adjourn now.
Secretary
moved.
Triplett.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
All right. Motion made by Treasurer Creighton
Support.
and supported by President Robinson. Secretary Triplett, can you call the roll?
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh, any questions?
I
comments,
do.
or
I have one. My husband is not gonna believe this.
concerns?
I also wanted to just say to the board too, we did have another student who was to graduate this Friday, who was shot last weekend, the McElrath family. So let us make sure that we continue to keep the McElrath family in our prayers, and I'm quite sure the school district has reached out. As a matter of fact, we did get note from the superintendent that he and Mr. Miller did go to the hospital to check up on the McElrath family. So, again, let's keep them in our prayers.
All right, Secretary Triplett, call the roll for dismissal.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bradley,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Creighton,
Yes.
Trustee Buchanan,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
meeting is adjourned.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:06 p.m.
What is it? 6:01?
6:06.
Mr.